Hello everyone, this is Shalak from 12GA, and this is my 3D animation and design project for semester 1. This is Serre, the future of farming. Now, first off, I want to discuss the topics my solution or design will target, first being urbanization. Urbanization is the population shift from rural areas to urban areas and the ways societies adapt to this change. As we see societies and cities prosper and thrive, you will most likely see a trend in which people living in rural areas or the outskirts of cities wanting to move into cities for better opportunities like job and education. And therefore, societies, of course, must compensate and adapt to this change in many different ways, one being my solution. And of course, the second topic will be UAE's climate. With farming, there are many barriers that UAE's climate brings, since, of course, it is a desert biome. Now, therefore, it is very hard to grow a large number of produce, and as a result, we mostly import a lot of our fruits and vegetables from other countries. Now, this is a video introducing you to my design and my solution, and I hope you enjoy it. I want to focus on our future. The future we tend to neglect as we build cities. It is the future of farming. I introduce to you Serre. La Serre is the future of farming and the solution to the never-ending trend of urbanization. It is quite simple, really. A vertical farm skyscraper equipped with modern technology used to grow plants, but this time in the city. Alright, after watching that video, I want to go over the thought process and the ideating of my solution. First off, I looked into, I guess you can say, the oldest of old greenhouses in like the 1800s, where they were first invented by French scientist Charles Lucien Bonaparte, who invented it in Holland. Now, when I first discovered that this scientist is actually French, I decided to draw inspiration from that and name my project Serre, which is actually just greenhouse in French. Now, for the sketch, as you can see, or as you know, greenhouses that we know of are usually built horizontally or planned out horizontally, and these take a lot of space. But if we actually want to move farming into urban areas or move farming into cities, it will be really hard to actually find that big of a location to build a greenhouse in. Therefore, we must think vertically, or I guess up and down, or in a way that towers and skyscrapers are built. Now, just as you can see, it is a very circular disc concept in which most discs are a bit offset, just to add a bit more, I guess, dimension to the project. And it is a disc concept in which the outer areas are where the plants are being grown in, and the structure all being held with 8 elevators that go from up to down throughout the building. Now here's just another closer up of the floors. This is another floor, and it's just a front view and the under view of the tower. Moving on, now this is the exterior construction of the project. As you can see, I'm building level by level or floor by floor with just a bit of an offset, just to create some kind of dimension. As I mentioned earlier, it's going to be consistent of 8 elevators, a main floor, 6 soil farm levels, and 7 hydroponic farm levels. Now, the soil farms are just for plants that are unable to grow by hydroponics, and hydroponic farms are just added to be more sustainable, of course. Moving on. Now the design or a closer look into Serre. Now you'll be watching a video that will explain the details of how I built it and what skills I have used. Hello everyone, this is Shahd, and this video will highlight the few new skills I've learned during the creation of my 3D final project of semester 1. Creating a geodesic dome. Through watching a YouTube video, I was able to create this geometric dome shape that I used for the top of my building. I created an offset and played around with the vertices and faces in order to create this amazing looking dome shape. Import and export. I have learned how to import and export different pieces of my building into separate Maya files from watching a few YouTube videos. Mesh light. I have used Arnold's mesh light in order to create realistic LED lights for my plants. Lastly, a low poly city. I've decided to create a low poly city by following a YouTube video in order to render my pictures more realistically, especially for the exterior of my building. The final output. Of course, other than these skills, I have used the skills I have acquired during Messina's 3D animation lessons. I have really enjoyed creating this building and I really hope you enjoy it too. Watching that video, and now for some closer looks into my solution or into Serre. Here are just some exterior shots I've taken of the building. So there are just some pictures. This are for the uppermost floors. This is just another front view and some top views with the city background. And here are some interior shots of the soil farms. As discussed earlier, the soil farms contain LED lights that help the plants grow faster, more efficiently. Another view between the elevators. Now here are 4 on this side and 4 on the other side, and just some interior shots. Moving on is just another top view of the soil farms. As you can see, I've added a small GIF of the animation I have created to just display the workings of the elevators. Of course, they open and close. And this is just a top view of the soil farms. Moving on, the hydroponic farms. Now, the hydroponic farms, as discussed in the video, I have created a vertical hydroponic, which is a relatively new concept. And again, it takes up less space. It is very sustainable and more efficient than the more horizontal hydroponic farms. Again, each level is equipped with more than 20 hydroponic farms in it, and then just again a few barriers for safety, of course, since these levels are on top of each other and this is more of an empty space into the next level or next floor. Of course, here is another shot of the elevators. Now, as discussed earlier, the hydroponic construction, I've created this vertical hydroponic, concept. And the benefits, of course, water conservation, there are fewer chemicals, they grow indoors, of course, since this is an indoor farm, and they result in healthier plants. And this is just a small animation of how I've created the design. Now onto the main floor. I've decided to just add a main floor for the workers to just come in and check out, since this is a very domestic building where just people that work in Serre just come in, check in, go up to the floor that they're assigned to work at, and then just check out at the end of the day. And there's not much to it, I guess. It's just a reception floor, another reception floor, and that's pretty much it. Now, why Serre and how this project will change the UAE? First off is imports. Now, for sure, the solution will decrease UAE's needs to import fruits and vegetables from other countries, since now we're able to grow them ourselves in our indoor vertical farm. Another thing is cloud seeding. Now, UAE invests in a lot of money for cloud seeding just in order to, I guess, maintain the environment, especially for agricultural purposes. Now, like I said, this project will reduce the need to invest in cloud seeding, of course, for agricultural purposes. Now, UAE's GDP, this project will increase UAE's agricultural sector in terms of GDP since it is very low because, again, we import most of our fruits and vegetables from other countries. And lastly, UAE's Sustainable Development Goals. Now, this project follows UAE's vision to become a more sustainable country. And in my view, we can only become sustainable if we look into the one aspect or the one thing that we will never let go of, which of course is food and producing fruits and vegetables. And since we are a desert climate and we're bound to the trend of urbanization, we must find sustainable and innovative ways in which we can adapt to such a big change and just adapt to this environment more sustainably. And I believe that my project, Serre, is the only way we can look into the future of farming. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.